Good evening, viewers. Welcome to a real talk show. My name is Anantram, and I'm a corporate communication coach as well as an author of my book, Easy English. As you all know, the show is on every Mondays and Thursdays at 9:15 in the evening. So this forum has been established in order to transform education via the exchange of ideas for change. We are committed to assist learning and teaching while also sharing amazing ideas and mixed practices with the rest of the world. The real talk show is also to bring educational leaders from around the globe. Today, our educational leader is Anantram Ganapati, Confident Gen Y, who's going to talk about the challenges you face during interviews. So before we invite her, let me tell you something about his achievements and his mission. So are you ready to listen? Well, he is a chemical engineer by profession with 20 years of industrial experience and another 21 into training, consulting, administrating, and teaching in various institutions, including a NGO. Currently, an author, medical clown, trainer, technical writer, consultant, and advisor for the industry and academic institutions, with training focus on safety, operations, life skills, soft skills, HR administration, etc. He is chairman of an NGO that conducts cancer awareness programs and counsels patients and their families undergoing treatment for cancer. His mission is making a mark as a confidant for Gen Y singles and couples. So, are you thinking about what is this Gen Y? So, let's invite him and ask few more questions to know more about this. So, let's welcome Anantram sir.
Very good evening.
Good evening. So, welcome to our show.
Very good evening, Anu.
How are you
Very
doing?
good evening, viewers. Happy to be here on this real talk show.
A pleasure. Okay. So, first, I would like to know what is this confident Gen Y? The reason is because here the spelling you're given is CON.
Confident.
Yeah, confident.
F-I,
Have you heard about
D-A-D-N-T. So a confidant is a person one can confide in.
Mhm.
You know, somebody whose shoulder you can use to share your agonies, your ecstasies. And very interestingly, that person who shares with you is confident
Mhm.
that the confidant will not divulge his or her personal life, because confidants are those people who are trusted,
Mhm.
people who help solve the very personal problems of people.
Okay.
And my experience in that regard has been in these 21 years into teaching and training,
Mhm.
where I have helped hundreds of students in their personal lives,
Mhm.
having been an administrator and an advisor to several academic institutions. So that is actually, I would say, my qualification to be a confidant. And
Mhm.
I have a huge base of my ex-students who trust me and believe in me and take my advice on a daily basis. Thank you, Anu.
Thank you. Thank you. That was nice. And another simple question. You're from a chemical engineer by profession with 20 years of industrial experience. You used to turn to this training. So may I know the reason or the shift for this?
Yeah. So, you see, I always loved teaching.
Hmm.
And what I always love, probably I still love to do, is to teach school children. But, it is not an earning profession. And I did my engineering, I worked with the industry. And, things were going well. I was doing some wonderful projects in the hydrocarbon and petrochemical industry. And then came a stage in my life, a virtual midlife crisis, when I had to change a job and I couldn't leave my hometown because I had to take care of my elderly mother.
Mm-hmm.
And so I decided to stay put in Visakhapatnam, where I continue to live. And I had to search for another avocation. And then I said, why not let me restart my life as a teacher?
Mm-hmm.
And I I started actually teaching school children. Then I went on to teach MBA students because I've done my MBA in while working, and I love training. I've done a lot of training while in the industry also. So I said, why not make teaching and training a passion? Because it is a passion, and make it a profession. And I must say that today I am a well-respected teacher and a trainer in the academic circles. Yeah, so it's been a difficult shift because it was almost like a zero-based budgeting, and I had to get back and reinvent the wheel into a totally new stream. I do miss my chemical engineering. I did a short stint a few years ago in Qatar in LNG facility as a procedure writer. It was a technical stint for a couple of years, but then I'm back as a freelance teacher and trainer. Thank you, Anna.
Okay. It's another, see, what happened, like you already have 20 years of experience, and when you're taking a shift to training, I mean, you change your career. How do you feel about your package? I know it's quite personal.
No, see, I am happy with what I have. That has been my
Okay.
attitude right from day one. And God has been good to me. Life has been good to me. And I always had enough to take care of myself and my family. Yes, we did have very tough times. But then, well, it's been good. It's been a good growth. And the satisfaction that a teacher gets, I think no engineer, no manager gets. Because I am remembered today by my students whom I taught 24, 25 years ago, and they still come back to me. And I think that is the greatest reward I get of being a teacher and a trainer.
Yes,
Thank you.
I really go with your stand with your points, because I also know that even I wasn't an HR manager 10 years back in this journey of teaching. Such a lovely satisfaction. I think I just can't explain that feeling.
Very true. Yeah.
Training is the best part, I can tell you, wherein you can show your. I mean, you're giving something, and it's a kind of service, a noble service. Probably, I know that maybe we will not earn as much as we were in IT sector and all, but probably, yeah, the satisfaction what we get, I don't think any other platform gives. I really stand with your point, sir.
Absolutely.
That is lovely to hear about your journey. Okay, and you also answered the question, what is confident?
Yeah, thank you.
And what is Gen Y?
Gen Y.
Gen
I was
Y.
coming to that. Well, you see, there are many generations. I belong to a generation called the baby boomers.
What is this?
And then came Generation X. So it is based on when we are born. And so basically, Gen Y are those people born in the years 1985 to 2000, who are currently 25 to 40 years old, 25, 26 to 40, 41 years old. They're called Generation Y. The earlier generation, almost every 15 years, we have these generations. And the importance of generations actually is more for the marketing people, because they segment their markets, they position their products to suit the needs of the every generation.
Okay.
And and Generation Y are those people who are 25 to 40 years old, and they are the people whom I have been dealing with over the past 21 years, as I have been telling you. And these students. So you might also want to know why Gen Y. Why did I take up Gen Y as
your audience
niche, as my audience? See, number one, I have maximum number of fans in that generation. You'll be surprised that many of my friends are right from 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds to the 25 to 30, 40-year-olds. I have good friends who are around my age, but these are the people who love me, who trust me. Number one. Number two, what I see is Generation Y is a rather confused generation, for the simple reason that they were born in a simple lifestyle age. But when they became teenagers, so when were they born? Uh, they were born, say, 1980, say,
80. Yeah,
1980,
80s.
right? And they became teenagers when 1993, 1994. And that is when the media explosion started. That is when communication started opening up. And the media influences started coming in, pouring in. So their teenage years were filled with all these diversions. And they have been continuing like that and being diverted from a simple lifestyle to a virtual lifestyle to an artificial world. Even intelligence, unfortunately, today has become artificial. It has its benefits. But this generation, I have seen that so many of my students, so many of the people whom I know in this generation are not able to grapple the vicissitudes of life. Be it in their marriages, be it in their relationships, be it in their
Mhm.
friendships, be it in their relationships with their parents. And, they're a very confused generation.
So there's no clarity, you mean to say.
They're emotionally, no, they're emotionally weak. We were emotionally very strong. We could take any kind of a slap on our face, but this generation cannot.
Sensitive.
They feel entitled to so much, and they need to have that reality check in how to handle their spouses, how to handle their children, how to handle their parents, and so on. And it is in this area that I do most of my counseling. And of course, as communication is one of the most important things. Yeah.
So when you said communication, I think today topic is all about the challenges they face during the interviews, isn't it?
Yes.
So that's a topic we're going to discuss about.
Again.
Most of us are waiting for that.
Yeah.
Challenges faced during
Yeah.
interviews.
So
The audience is 25 to 40 years. So here it comes freshers as well as a person on the employees
yeah,
also, isn't it? So what are the common challenges
it's
people
the same. It's
face?
the same story, Anuradha.
Hmm.
It is the same story. The
Mhm.
story continues that they are an entitled generation.
Okay.
So they go armed with these MBAs and engineering and
Hmm.
CA, the qualifications, and say, hey, I have passed on this university, I've got this rank, I've got 80%, I've got 90%, and I walk into the interview, I'm going to get a job.
Hmm.
And that is where the reality check starts.
Okay.
Because the industry does not want people with degrees and with marks. The industry knows that if you have an MBA, you have a CA, you have a BA, BL, whatever, they know that you have that basic level of knowledge. And that is why you were there in the interview room in the first place. Your
Yeah.
resume, your qualification got you into the interview room. And once you are there, your degree, your qualifications are at a back seat. What
True.
what the industry wants from you is the fact that you be a team player, you give a positive vibe, you communicate well, and that you are the good egg. Because if you are a bad egg, you're going to spoil the rest of the team in the organization, and they don't want that bad egg. And you'll be surprised that the weightage
Mhm.
given to your degree, the weightage given to
Mhm.
your marks is hardly 25% to 30% of the interview. 70%
Depends on
plus
what you
goes
deliver.
towards your personality. Yeah, your personality, the way you communicate, the way you handle stress, the the confidence levels. I mean, in an interview, you could be asked a question that you don't know the answer to, which is fine. But do you have the confidence to say, I'm sorry, ma'am, I'm sorry, sir, I do not know the answer. Could you please ask me another question? You know, even this. And then, I have these students come out saying, sir, what is the use, sir? I did not get this job because they have not shown that positive vibration.
Mhm.
So this is the first challenge that interviewees face in job interviews. It is a big challenge. So where does this all start? Would you like to know where it actually starts, the challenge?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have the resume, you have this nice, beautifully well structured resume, and then you walk into it. You walk into the interview, and as you walk in, the interviewee is judged.
Mm.
I mean, he has not spoken anything. He's still walking into that room.
The body
And
language, the appearance.
yes, the body language, the way he dresses, the grooming that he has, how he presents himself. The second step, now he has to present his resume to the interviewer. How does he hand it? Does he have grace in handing over that resume? So 50% of the marks come there itself. You're not
Mm.
spoken even one word till then.
I know.
You know? So the interviewer is either impressed or not impressed. If he or she is confused, the rest of the interview is going to be a washout. Believe me.
So
I in-
I believe you have been doing lots of mock interviews to students,
yeah.
isn't it? Right?
Pardon?
You do lots of mock interviews
Oh,
for the students.
I do mock interviews for
Yeah.
students, employees with
Did you,
experience.
yeah, did you tell the students what is the interviewer looking exactly? Are they looking
Yes.
up the right
Yes.
answers? Because most students be prepared. Okay, they are like the very first questions. Tell me about yourself. They prepare so much. Do you think that all the interviewers are looking out for the right answers, or what else?
They're looking for confidence and good communication skill in answering. They're not looking for a right answer.
True.
They are
Yeah.
looking at a positive person, a person who exudes confidence and enthusiasm.
Hmm.
Nothing more than that.
Yeah, that is what every interviewer wants. I mean, every
Nothing
employer
more than that.
sees that. Yeah,
Yeah.
every employer
Yeah.
says, are
So
they true?
the you are very rightly saying that about the introduction. Do you know that of the uh, thousands of mock interviews that I have conducted, the introductions
Mhm.
are 98% poor. A person who's 20, 23, 24 years old can't talk for 20 seconds about himself or herself.
True.
I mean, introduction. So let me just quickly tell you the importance of the introduction. So
Sure.
this is invariably the first question. Tell me something about yourself, introduce yourself, tell me who you are, and so on. And this guy starts with myself, I was, I am. They don't even know how to start their introduction. And then they start talking about their father, their mother, their brother, their sister, their caste, their religion.
Sometimes giving the names of father and mother.
I mean, there is no, I mean, they just have to talk for that 1.5 minutes and give that, punch. And I'm telling you, the interview is 80% sealed if you deliver a punchy introduction. The power of the introduction is the fact that when you talk of your work or your work experience, then you are directing that, or your career goal, you're directing the interviewer to ask you questions in your area of comfort. If you just give that 10, 15-second introduction, give him or her a sweet smile, you're leaving the field open for a question from any corner of the world. And because I conduct a lot of interviews across different countries, USA, UK, Egypt.
Oh,
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
is there any difference in giving interviews between Indians and internationals?
absolutely.
As you have been
Oh yes,
conducting many
yeah,
international, yeah.
yeah. There are two very striking differences. Number
Oh,
one, they are very good communicators.
you mean to say the internationals?
Very, very good.
Okay.
Because they talk very well. Number one. Number two, which is more important, their whole education system, right from school to through high school, middle school to through college, high school and college, is assignment based, project based. So they have actual hands-on experience for every mark that they have earned, which is not the case in India. Even an engineer does not have a 6-month internship. MBA does not have a decent internship in most of the colleges. So they have no practical knowledge. But these guys across the world, from USA, UK, Europe, Singapore, their education system insists on more than 50% of marks, work-related grades, that they have actually done something. They've done a project, they've worked in a team, they've set up an experiment, they have done research. So, they're brimming with confidence because they've actually worked, they've done a hands-on thing. So that is the striking difference.
There's a question that texts me right away now. He said that, sir, I have around 27 years of experience. How would you let me know? How can I share my experience here, work experience? He said, yes, just that you're talking about the freshers. What about me? I have 27 years of work experience. I'm quite senior. How do you think I can talk about my work? Won't the employer get fed up with my experience? Yeah.
No. See, you have to see when you talk of your experience, you must talk of your leadership skills. So where you have led a team, your team working skills, your time management skills, your stress management skills. Now, if you come to me for an interview, right? I will put you through a stress test. I will stress. I will give you. I will. Oh yeah. I will stress you out.
Okay.
If an experienced person comes for an interview, I want to know how you handle stress, because in your job, I'm going to stress you out. Are you going to crack up, or are you going to be comfortable handling stress? That is very important for me. When I take on an experienced candidate for a job, he or she should be able to be a good team player or a good team leader and handle stress.
So you mean to say, if you're pressurized, how would you handle the situation?
Yes. And do you know how I'll also tell you how I administer pressure. So I will give you a nice hot cup of coffee or tea, a few delicious pastries, and a few delicious snacks to eat.
Okay.
Right? And say, hey, Anu, please have this coffee, have this piece of cake. And, oh, thank you very much, sir. And you start eating that cake and drinking your coffee. And when your mouth is full, I ask you a question.
Okay, got you.
I mean, this is where stress starts. I want to know, are you comfortable in handling a mouthful of food or a mouthful of hot coffee? I will look at your etiquette, Anu. I will look at your etiquette, how you drink that cup of coffee, how much of sound you make. See, I don't want a senior executive in my company who's going to represent my company, display poor etiquette in a company workshop or in a company presentation. So I will look at the way you eat. And those are important things for me, for an experienced person. And just for your information, this is one area that I train people in: etiquette, grooming, the importance, how to eat. I train people on that.
So the employee doesn't, you mean to say they don't give more importance of how much of knowledge you have on the subject?
25-30%.
Okay, rest all is about your personality.
Yeah. Oh yes, 100. See, when you have a degree like an MBA or a CA or an engineering, I know, and you have done it from a decent institution, you have a basic knowledge level.
Yeah.
And that's all that I need. And I will tell you, I will train you on what to work, how to work. So most people know that they will do. But how to behave is not taught. I hope you get me. No school, no college teaches people on how to behave, how to talk correctly, how to act like a professional. And this is where the problem is.
Yeah, ultimately, I think it depends upon how you deliver, no matter what the content is.
Yes,
You should know how to deliver and what has
yes.
to be delivered. Sometimes you need to have some filtration here and there. And
See,
specifically, people have to
filter.
speak what exactly employer needs. Here, sometimes it becomes so boring to listen to the
Yeah.
interviewer, whatever the interview. They keep on telling about all the past experience, so it's so difficult. Because when I was on HR, I
No,
find so
you have to
difficult
be
to,
crisp.
yeah,
No,
crispy.
I'll
It's not
no,
that
I'll
only
tell
one candidate. We have n number of candidates to interview there.
no, I'll tell you one more problem that is going to come, or rather comes in India.
Mm-hmm.
Now this guy says, I have got university rank, I have PhD.
Mm.
What will be my starting salary?
Oh,
Or
after the
will
package.
you give me 1 lakh per month? I
Okay,
mean,
so
this is a direct exit door from an interview. You don't talk. You don't talk about money till the
mm-hmm.
topic is brought up by the interviewer.
Mm.
And the interviewer will bring that up when he or she is interested in you. Or if he doesn't bring it up, at the end of the interview, you can ask, how are we taking this forward, sir or ma'am?
Mhm.
Can you let me know? I
Yeah.
mean, you don't start talking of money in your first interview. And that is the big mistake that many of us make. Sir, fine, sir.
I
How much will you give me, sir?
Now, how do you think we can ask this question? Suppose we want to ask about package, and like say, let's talk about the experienced person. Forget about the freshers; they go as per the company norms, stand format. So, what about the experienced person when they have around 20 years of experience? Can they talk about the package? And if it's so, how can we ask about the package?
Yeah. So if nothing is spoken, you can say, are we taking this forward?
Mm,
How are we taking this forward, sir? You can ask, definitely.
mm-hmm,
And what is the next step? And then he says, no, we'll get back to you.
mm.
So then you can always find out. Do you have any kind of a compensation plan uh, in mind, or do I need to wait for it? That's all. There's nothing wrong in asking.
Okay, there's
But
another question.
right at the end, not
Huh.
not halfway through, when everything's ready, done and dusted, and you're ready to leave, that's when you pop this question, if at all.
Again, I think it depends upon the tonality, how they put across a sentence, not like a demanding. Yeah, there's a student when she says, "Ma'am, I've finished my graduation. I'm going for many job interviews." She said it here. Everywhere they say, "We'll get back to you. We'll get back to you." I'm so frustrated. How do you think I can take it in a positive way? How do you think in the next interview I'll be getting positive vibes? My mind is already for the same answer. Okay, I'll get back to you. So,
Yeah.
what is your answer for this?
No, there is no answer for that. See, that is very clear that the interviewer, you're not going to get the job. Number one, that's a direct indication. Number one.
She's frustrated now.
Yeah, I mean, they will be frustrated.
Mm.
See, what these people need to do, in my opinion, is go beyond their degree and just pick up some work experience. And it is important to pick up work experience. Now, you could work with a relative's firm. You could
Mm-hmm.
volunteer in a NGO. You could do whatever. But it is wrong to sit at home and say, I'm waiting for a job, and I not do anything about it. I think, I let me give you an example. Yesterday, I sent two girls to a
Mm.
hotel,
Mm.
and the hotel, they're girls from underprivileged backgrounds,
Mm.
and they're just one is just finishing a degree, one girl has finished her polytechnic, she's doing a second year degree. Very smart girls.
Mm.
But and the hotel guy says, I'm going to give them free training in
Mm-hmm.
housekeeping, laundry management, and
Mm.
all these areas. They have to work hard. They will work with me for 3 to 4 months as
Mm.
a trainee. I will pay them,
Okay.
and then I will take them on,
Like a stipend, right?
like a stipend or whatever.
Hmm.
So both these girls went,
Hmm.
and do you know what happened? So one guy said, "You are coming into the hotel.
Hmm.
You'll have to do housekeeping.
Okay.
That is basically getting the room ready for the
Yes.
my
The
guest,
guest.
and
Yeah.
cleaning the room, and operate this huge machine, and wash the bed sheets, and it's a laundry automated thing. You have to handle that." They said, "Did I do my degree to wash clothes? Did I do my degree to sweep rooms?" The moment you have such an attitude, no, you can't succeed in life.
So, yeah, I would like to add up on that. If it isn't a hotel management degree, something related to the hotel, I think they won't mind doing this. But if they done a commercial background, like for example, accountant or something,
No,
they would look
these
something.
are no, but these are this is a leading brand. It's an Accor brand. Nobody will take them.
Okay, so you mean to say
Hotel.
they have to take a job just for experience wise?
Yes, let them work three
Okay.
months. No, they don't let them work 3 months. No, earn that 5,000 or 6,000 rupees every month. You know,
Mhm.
learn something new. No, let them be engaged. No, they rather sit at home
Okay.
and wait. Who's going to give them a job, Anuradha? Nobody will.
Mm. In addition to it, I also like to add up the students when keep employers or interviewers keep saying that we'll get back to you, we'll get back to you. I would advise them check out exactly what is lacking in you. You need to work on that.
Yes,
It's
you should
not
know your.
once, twice, yeah. Even initially, when I think after finishing my graduation, when I was working during my graduation, it's a part-time job. So when once I finished my graduation, I was maybe I was lacking in something. I was rejected in first company. Second company, I got placed because I started working what I really want, where am I lacking with. And if you can also ask if you're really like open speaker, like you can ask them, so may I know some feedback from you, so that whether he gives you a job or not, you can take a positive feedback so that you can change the way you want to present yourself. Maybe once, twice, even 5 times, let them reject it. But you see
You
where you are lacking, how you can improve your confidence or add up some more
you
skills to make it more efficient.
yeah.
Just doing
So
BCom,
you
you
need to
can't
know.
expect accounts job. Yeah.
You need to know your strengths and your weaknesses very
Yes.
clearly.
Should know that. You
You
need to know.
should. Every person needs to know this.
See, I think at times when we were studying, it was only we were doing only BCom or BA or whatever it is. But nowadays we have you have many parallel courses.
Yes.
While doing your graduation, you can do some other courses. Probably you may have some financial crunch, but you can look out for many. There are many government courses where they offer
Oh,
free.
there's so many cheap
Yeah.
courses available. Oh yeah, Coursera, Udemy offers
Udemy is
very good courses.
available,
Yes.
Coursera is available. You can update yourself with skills, but do not be idle or don't get frustrated if the employers or interviewers say that it will get back to you. It's a very common answer. And so before I wind up, I have another question.
Yeah, and just to
Huh.
I just need to add one perspective
Yes.
of a challenge that students face in interview.
Mhm.
Their knowledge levels
Mm.
of the business and the environment is zero. They do not know what is happening in the real world, and this is a disaster. You go for a banking job and you do not know what banks do. You go
Yeah.
for an insurance job and don't know types of insurance. You go for a stock market, a kind of a job, a back end job, and you do not know what the stock market is, what the indices are. I mean, you must have that awareness.
Yes. That's more required. I think before you go to an interview, just go through a website, check what they are exactly doing.
Yes,
I also told you
yes.
in previous interviews, I mean, in a previous real talk show. You
Okay.
have to check what the industry is doing and check it out whether are you the right candidate for that. Just don't go randomly, because nowadays there are lots of choices for you to choose which industry is good, and you can select yourself which industry I can go is suitable or what. Or as Anantram sir said, just for experience, just forget about your whether you're BCom or BA, whatever industries are getting, just try to get experience, isn't it, sir?
Very true. Very true.
Even
See,
stipend is not not a small amount. Nowadays, nothing is free, and stipends is something the company is paying you. At least it can meet your travel expense.
You can add that to your resume as experience.
Yeah. Sometimes we have to pay to get experience
Yes.
certificate.
Yes.
You know that we have to pay that amount to get experience certificate. Rather, with this kind of things, you will have the real practical experience. I would say that, isn't it, sir?
But do you know, no, but do you know where the problem is?
Mm-hmm.
The problem is with the parents. They are ready to take care of their children. Mere pyari beti, mera pyara beta, I
Mm.
will feed you till my last days. I will take care of you, my darling. You see, parents need to be strict and ensure that their children, are not idling in the house while they
Yeah.
are working and earning for these children. Once a child is 20, 22, they need to go out into the market and know the real world.
Yes.
I think parents have to develop this
Mindset,
mindset. Yes.
the belief and mind. That's, I think, you need to think in other aspect. Don't think about how you grew. I'm talking to parents. At times it's so different now. Generation is lots of changes in generation. You need to update, no
Yes.
matter what.
Yes.
Best advice is come forward and do some kind of what to say, explore things.
Hmm.
Don't get dejected by the rejections. It's very
Very
it happened in my case also many times. But I think after my graduation, the very second interview clicked me, but not a very high salary at that time. It's okay. But I continued. I never took a break in my career. I just kept on working. But later I learned. But a real value comes in when you sit and focus on your career. Till such time, you just enjoy your life.
very true. Very true.
Yeah, don't be idle. The more idle you are, they say, right? Empty ground is devil's. What's that? I forgot.
Empty
Mm,
vessels. Huh?
no. Something I forgot to say. Devil's mind. Empty mind, devil's ground. I forgot. I'm not getting it. I
No, 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 no. Uh, an idle mind is a devil's
Devil's
workshop.
ground. A devil's workshop. I
Workshop.
think it's devil's workshop. Yeah.
An idle mind is a devil's
The
workshop.
more idle you are, I'm sure you are inviting more of negativity in you.
Yes.
Because you start comparing with
And
others.
frustration and then
Yeah.
depression.
You start comparing with others. Oh, she got job, he got job. Oh, in that one, no, never. Each one have a different talent, I'm sure. But on the whole, I would say improve your communication skills, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself. No matter how many degrees you have, you're not able to
Everything depends on personality and communication.
you need to have your own personal brand. You have to brand yourself.
Yeah. And
But
that
don't run a salary.
no. And that includes your non-verbal communication,
True, body language.
your body language, the way you carry yourself, your presence as an individual.
Huh.
Very, very important. It is
True.
not just what you talk, it is also how you carry yourself.
Communication, for me, communication is a commitment. When you communicate, it's like committed. So think and talk.
Yes.
I always say, just not like blabbering something and end of the day doing nothing. Because employers filter very well. Even recently, just a week ago, one of my students got sacked from his company, saying that he was not able to deliver what they expected because he told a lot in the interview, but nothing. So this also happens. Anytime they can sack you. So be honest, tell what you are, and showcase what you can. Don't don't fake anything. It not last long. So another question, the last question is like the employers ask, like interviewers ask, do you have any questions? So what should the people say? Yes or no? The questions.
Interviewer asks,
Do you have any questions?
yes.
It's another common question.
No, it is very important that a person being interviewed, the interviewee, goes prepared with his or her questions about the
Yes.
company, about the job profile, about what kind of a career growth can be expected, what kind of team
You're going to
they'll be
work
working
with.
in. Definitely. And you see, even if it is not, you don't have a time, at the end, the interviewer must ask the interviewer, sir or ma'am, may I ask you some questions from my end? You see, this shows passion for a job. This shows
Your
that
interest.
your interest in getting that job. And
Yeah.
that is what interviewers love.
That adds value.
Adds a lot of value.
So please don't say no. Ask some questions. Probably it can be about your job responsibilities, or it can be about the
Anything
anything.
about the organization,
Apart
anything.
from, I think here they should not ask about the package. What do
No.
you say? No, yeah, just skip the package, no matter. But what about for the experienced person? Can they talk about the package over here? If they don't discuss in the interview conversation
They
about
can
the
always
package,
ask, sir, what kind of a compensation can I expect?
choose the
Uh,
words, choose the qualifying
yeah,
words.
you have to
Uh-huh.
deliver it very nicely and smoothly, not being
Hmm.
arrogant or demanding about it.
Yeah,
So that is where your skill in communication comes to your assistance.
that's better.
Yeah.
Fine. So thank you so much for so much of, I mean, we got a very good insight in all this. I hope it helped the viewers. The last question, something on you. So you are number one bestseller author on Amazon. It's displayed on your screen too. So can we know something about your book, please?
So that's the book, my book.
Yeah.
So on the rocks, a single malt or a stranded soul, the choice is yours.
Hmm.
So this is all about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I have used marriage as the platform.
Okay.
And the reason on the rocks has two meanings. One is when you have a sip whiskey, the rocks are the cubes of ice,
Mm-hmm.
and you just pour your whiskey on it, swirl it, and drink it. It is a celebration. On the rocks can be when you are thrown in a stormy sea and you're cast as a survivor on a rock somewhere in the middle of the sea or on a hot, barren place, and
Mm-hmm.
you're stranded. You know, you can be on the rocks. In both cases, the choice of whether you want to celebrate or the choice of being a depressed, lonely soul,
Okay.
that is up to the individual.
So this book is all about the relationship.
So, how you take a marriage, this book is
Mm.
all about relationships. It takes you through a journey through the different stages in marriage. Right from your childhood, where we say you look at a girl and say, "Hey, I love you," or you look at a boy, "Oh, you're so sweet, you're so handsome, I want to marry you." I mean, that happens at even tender ages when people really don't know what love is or what love or
What marriage is.
marriage is. And then, in fact, when if you see my book, my fourth chapter says the marriage dash the end of the honeymoon. I say the honeymoon ends the day you get married, because that is where the
Mm.
reality check starts between two individuals. You look at each other 24/7, and the honeymoon again begins after the children are married and they're gone off, and that's when a husband and wife start enjoying their life. That is when they actually
Very
celebrate.
interesting.
That is when you actually get to celebrate your life. Yeah?
Awesome.
It is nice. It's available on Amazon, and you just Google my name or the
Mm.
title of this book, and it's available. And a lot of wonderful reviews. I have, think, 35, 40 reviews of my book from across the world,
Okay.
and a lot of people have commended me, and they have used this book in their actual life. They say, "Sir, we have read your book, and actually things are working better now."
Yeah, it's quite practical. I think you're given all the practical
It
tips
is a
over there.
very
Ah,
practical,
that's all you wanted, yeah.
down to earth.
Because you have
Every
all your
word is actually written by me. It is
of
written by
course.
me. I
See,
have
all your
researched.
life experience you made as a content,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
That's
Thank
all.
you. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Yeah. I'm proud of my book. Oh yes, I'm very proud of my book, and that it's doing quite well.
Thank you.
I'm happy. Thank you for this wonderful
Wish you all the
opportunity.
best, and let's have more of sales of your book.
Sure. Sure.
So viewers, I think I can share, if you would like to buy this, I can share the link. So you can share the link later so that they can also purchase this book if they love it. Right? Hello, can you?
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Thank
you
you
can
so
hear
much.
me. So
Thank
with
you so much.
that, let me thank all the viewers and particularly our special guest Anantram Ganapati. So, what is one piece of advice would you like to share before I wind the session?
Success is in your hands. You make it or break it, but be the architect of your dreams.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Viewer, isn't it awesome? Right? So please post your comment how the show was. And if you have any questions, as usual, you can post your questions in inbox and in the comment box, and we will get in touch with you immediately. At the same time, if you would like to buy this book, I'll be also sharing the link below this video so that you can get it from Amazon. Isn't it, sir?
Yes, it's on Amazon.in. It's on
Yes,
Amazon.com
yeah.
also.
You can share the you can share
It's
the
available
link
in
and
the
I'll
international. I will send you
okay,
the
fine.
link. Thank you so much.
So, meanwhile, we would like to inform you that this live show is on every Monday and Thursday at 9:15 on FB and YouTube. So, thank you everybody else for listening and watching. We will be back with another interesting educational leader on Monday at 9:15. Until then, stay tuned. Thank you, sir, once again.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It was wonderful talking to you. Thank you so much.
Bye, sir.
Bye.